Hey, what's up? Edward here. So in this video today, I'll be explaining everything you need to know about the tax-free savings account, also known as the TFSA. This video is for my Canadian viewers out there that are looking to open an account. I'll be diving into how it works, all the rules, and all the things that you shouldn't be doing in this account. So as usual, I'll go through the first part of my video and I'll do a general overview of the TFSA account. A tax-free savings account is simply what the name implies. It's an account where all the capital gains are tax-free. For example, if I made $500 in this account, it will not be taxed. For those that don't know, we Canadians have to pay income tax on capital gains that we earn from regular savings account here in Canada. So that little 1% that we get from our savings account are taxed every single year. Which is why in 2009, the Canadian government decided to introduce the TFSA. This is a registered account where you can buy ETFs, mutual funds, stocks, or use it as cash savings, but I recommend stocks. This account is available to any Canadians that are over 18 years old. Now here's the beauty about this account. If you made an initial investment of $5,000 and that turned into $10,000, you can withdraw that $10,000 without any tax implications. Now I want to move to the next topic, which is the contribution rules. The TFSA has a contribution limit, meaning there's a specific amount of money that you can put into this account every year. The contribution room really depends on when you turned 18 years old. Every year, the Canadian government announces a new contribution room for your TFSA, and all this accumulates. So if we go into this chart here, and I'll put a link to this in the description, let's say you turned 18 years old in 2013. If you add all the contribution limits after 2013, your TFSA contribution room is at $55,500. Now, if you turned 18 before 2009, when the TFSA was announced, you would have accumulated all the contribution room ever since inception, which is $75,500. If you're not sure about your contribution limit, don't worry, you can always go onto your CRA account, and from there you should be able to see your contribution room for the year. Now the next point that I want to make is that you should never go over the contribution limit. If you do happen to go over that contribution limit, the CRA, also known as the Canada Revenue Agency, will send you a mail letting you know that you over-contributed an X amount of money into your TFSA. You're gonna have to withdraw that or you're gonna get taxed 1% every month. So let's say I over-contributed $5,000 into my TFSA. Every month I have to pay $50 to the CRA. So remember to not over contribute to your TFSA. Next, I want to talk about recontribution, and this part gets a lot of Canadians confused, and I'm gonna make it as simple as possible. Any amount that you withdraw this year can be recontributed back next year. Not in the same year, but the following year. For example, let's say I have $5,000 in my TFSA already, and I decide to withdraw that $5,000 this year. Next year in 2022, I'll be able to deposit back that $5,000, including any remaining contribution room I had left over, plus the new yearly contribution room that the government announces next year. Now, recontributing capital gains goes like this. If I put $5,000 in my TFSA and it appreciated to $8,000, and I decided to withdraw that $8,000, next year I'll be able to contribute back that $8,000 into my TFSA, including any remaining contribution room I had left over, plus the new yearly contribution room that the government announces. Now this is the beauty about this account. If you can grow the capital gains inside this TFSA to, let's say, $1 million, you can withdraw that $1 million and recontribute $1 million back next year. And you can do all this tax-free. Now I want to talk about my next topic, which is the things you shouldn't do inside this account. The CRA doesn't allow day trading in this account. If they see that you're making multiple trades a day in this account, you will have to pay income tax. There isn't a specific amount of trades determined by the CRA. It really depends on the CRA agent looking into your account. They'll be the ones making the call on whether you are day trading on the TFSA. 2 to 5 transactions a day will get you in trouble, so just be aware of this. The next point that I want to make is kind of controversial, but I'm going to say it anyways. Please do not use this account as a cash savings account. The yearly inflation rate is about 3% a year, and remember, this compounds. The tax-free savings rate here in Canada are less than the inflation rate, so regardless, you're still losing money if you're using this as a cash savings account. I recommend any average investor to put their money in the S&P 500 ETF index index funds. Obviously, remember to do your research and due diligence before doing so. Now I want to talk about the remaining rules that you should be aware of in your TFSA. If you're planning to transfer your TFSA from one institution to another, you can simply fill out a form with your institution to transfer that account without having to withdraw any funds. One mistake that people do is that they sell everything in their account, take out the cash, and then move it to another institution. Remember, in the TFSA, you cannot withdraw and deposit back the same amount in the same year. You will need to do it the following year, unless you have some contribution room left. Next, I want to talk about the dividends. For those that don't know, a dividend is a sum of money that a company pays to their shareholders. For example, if I buy Rogers stock, I get a certain amount of money every quarter from the company. Now, if you're buying a Canadian stock with a dividend, then that dividend is tax-free. However, if you're buying a US stock with a dividend, those dividends will get taxed 15%. Lastly, if you own a Canadian ETF that holds US stocks, that dividend also gets taxed 15%. This is something that a lot of investors don't know, and I really encourage you to rewind it back if you didn't understand. Lastly, I want to say that you can have multiple TFSA accounts with multiple institutions. As long as you don't go through your contribution limit, that's fine. For example, if I have a contribution room of $10,000, that means I can open a TFSA with TD and RBC with $5,000 in each account. So yeah, this is how the TFSA works, and if you didn't really understand some parts, you can always rewind and watch it again. It's probably the best registered account that you can open here in Canada. I personally use this account to hold growth stocks, and if you haven't seen my growth investing video, I'll link it up here. In the end, this video is here to guide you and help you understand the basics of a TFSA. Now it's up to you to decide if the TFSA suits your needs. That wraps up for this video. What do you all think? For my Canadian viewers, are you going to be opening up a TFSA account? Let me know in the comment section down below. If this video gave you a lot of value, please smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Feel free to also subscribe if you're interested in my content. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.